Good morning everybody, thank you for joining me this morning. This video is going to accompany blog post which is linked in the description down there. This is part of the Project Share Project blog hop for today. So this is the hop I do once a month, first Saturday of the month, with Jill, Jez and Heather, part of the Project Share team. So we share a project every Thursday from each other, and then once a month we do a little hop on a given theme, and this time we're going to do retiring favourites. Okay, so all the links to everybody else's projects are going to be via my blog post. Check out the description and you'll see a link in there. Just give them some likes, subscribes and comments. That would be marvellous. So retiring products then, we've got a new annual catalogue coming out at the beginning of May, and as a demonstrator I've seen that already. Don't have it to hand to show you the front cover because I've just showed you the front cover, but it is now available and in demonstrators' hands, so we can now look at some lovely new stuff. But what that means is that we are losing some other products to make way for new. So each year we get a new set of in colours, so we're going to use an in colour that's going out. This is Magenta Madness, really nice bright pink. So just in case you aren't aware, the other colours would be Cinnamon Cider, Misty Moonlight, I love this colour, Just Jade, I love that colour too, Bumblebee, which is a nice yellow, I'm not a yellow fan but I like this, and then the brilliant Magenta Madness. So those are the 5 colours that are leaving us, and all the accompanying cardstock, refills, all that kind of stuff. So if these colours are some of your favourites, then you need to get your hands on those before they start selling out. Okay, just go along to the shop link and look at the last chance products list, and you'll see those available. So in colours, and we're using Magenta Madness. This is a lovely background stamp, so this one's going. So I've used this a few times and I don't think background stamps get a lot of love, so I'm going to use this today. It's really, really pretty, Wild Roses. And I'm going to pinch a sentiment from this set called Queen Anne's Lace. Nice little set, a nice price point with some really lovely sentiments, and it's just a really cute flower, which I found out Queen Anne's Lace is actually wild carrot, believe it or not. So that's a really pretty set, and I've done a bunch of cards with that. And then, oh, I'm absolutely devastated, we're losing Tailored Tag. It's such a useful punch. So anyway, it's going, so we're going to give this this some more use as well before it retires. All right, so what we're going to do, and we're going to do some heat embossing, that's what we're going to do. I've already cut my card base, usual measurements, so it's 4 1/8 of an inch wide, and scored at 5 7/8 of an inch. And then I've cut what I call a full panel that's going to fit pretty much edge to edge, bar 1/8 of an inch. So this measures 4 by 5 3/4. That's how big that panel is. So that's what I call a full card panel. Now to do the stamping with that large background stamp, I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus tool. Okay, we are keeping this, thank goodness, great. Magnets on the back we're not going to use today, but great tool. But I'm using this because the background stamps are like humongous. As the name would suggest, they're designed to fill up a whole card front. Cling rubber stamps. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Okay, and because it's a cling mount stamp, we're going to remove the foam mat. So if you buy a brand new one, you're going to get a black mat in yours. I've upgraded mine to the deluxe, but and this replaces your sort of foam for your photopolymers. So because it's a cling stamp, we're going to take that out and just work on this bit. So we're just going to lay that stamp in the tool like so-ish, and get that attached to the window. So that's ready to go. All right, and then we want to position our cardstock hopefully where it's going to cover the whole lot. That looks good from here using, yeah, okay. Now I can't secure this with a magnet because it's going to interfere with the pushing the stamp down, so we're going to have to just, well, if it's a bit wonky it's not going to matter too much. I just want to make sure it covers, but we've only got one chance to get all the inking right. Okay, so because we're heat embossing, we're going to use the clear Versamark ink. Okay, so it's just a sticky ink. It's a pigment ink, so it stays even though there's no pigment in it, if you know what I mean. It's a slow drying ink. It's probably what I should have said. Slow drying ink. So what that means is that we can get this well inked up, and it's not going to dry on the stamp. Well, it will eventually, but not quickly, right? And then when we stamp it across onto our cardstock, it's going to act as sort of, well, it's sticky, and it will hold onto the powder long enough for us to heat it and melt it. Okay, so I think that's as well inked as it's going to get. So we're going to pop that over the top and give that some really good firm pressure. Now I am bringing in a soft cloth to do this because I really want to make sure that this gets transferred. That's the word, transferred. Okay, I'm giving it, I'm not pressing hard, I'm just sort of rubbing over the top and just applying some pressure. But this soft cloth just helps just that gliding motion rather than having to try and, you know, press, and gives you more even pressure. Okay, and then we hope that we've got it all and we've transferred enough of the image to make that look lovely. Okay, if you've got an embossing buddy, it probably would have been a good idea to have used one. I forgot. It's not something that's we sell anymore, but if you've got one, then great. Okay, right, so you're not going to be able to see anything at all on there until we apply the powder. I think it's transferred okay, and I guess we'll find out when we add our powder. So I've just got this handy dandy thing that and I can just see, I think the border has just missed the top there. So what we're going to probably do is cut down this a little bit to make it fit our card. So I'm just applying the powder across there. Oh yes, just look at that. Can you imagine what it's going to look great when it's heated? Oh, fingers and thumbs. So what we could have done was cut the cardstock a little bigger, so we'd have had something to hold on to, but I was being skimpy with my card because it's retiring and I've only got a couple of sheets left, so I thought it's fine. So just going to give that a bit sharper flick on there. Okay, and that's that, and that's because I've done that, that's now missed the tray and gone on my desk, but you know, hey ho, it is what it is. And this thing just allows me to tip that back into the pot a little easier. You can use paper and funnel it in and stuff, but I happen to have this thing which helps with that. So don't want to be too slow getting this in, but I mean, you do have a few moments just to get your heat tool out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat that now, and hopefully you'll be able to see that it goes glossy on the camera, but I'll show you at the end because it's all dull now, right? Okay, there's no shine on that at all. But I'm going to mute the video because the heat gun's really loud. So I'm going to heat it up and you'll see me bring it to the cardstock, and hopefully you will also see that it will turn glossy in the process. So just grabbing that ready. Okay, and I've just got these forceps that I can just hold that onto. Okay, so I'm going to mute now, and I'll be back when that's done. Okay. Right, so I was just making sure I caught all the edges there. So as I held it up to the light, I could see that there was some bits that still weren't shiny. So I hope that kind of comes across, and sort of the white has sort of intensified now that we've heated it up. It will bend a little bit, so it's just how the there's natural moisture in the cardstock, so it's going to just bend as that water gets pulled out of it. So as I say, we've missed off a little bit of the corner there because there is a border on those stamps. So now I took it to, it was 5 3/4 before, so 1/8 of an inch isn't going to cut it, so I'm going to take it down to 5 1/2. So I'm going to take off what, 1/4 of an inch, which means I need to take off 1/4 of an inch on the other side. And I think what I might do is do this one because there's less white on there. Makes it look a little bit more even. But by doing an even amount off the top and off the side, I still maintain an even border onto the card base, right? Just, I hope that made sense. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another element to this, just to help it pop a little bit by applying some of the ink with a blending brush over the top. It's sort of like a like an emboss resist technique. So just grabbing a tissue from there, and I want some scrap paper, which in my case is some small grid paper, which I've used for various things. So I just use this and use this until it gets too messy. So I'm going to use the ink pad to apply the ink to the card. So just circular motions on the ink pad. So it's going to be quite bright. Now I don't necessarily mind that being too bright, but you don't want it blotchy. So sometimes it's just nice just to tap off onto your paper first, and then we're going to rub over the top. So it's sort of what we call tone on tone, I guess, right? Using the same colour ink over the top of coordinating cardstock. Going to use some tissue here because the ink will sit on top of the embossing powder, which is fine, which is what it's supposed to do, because it's essentially like a plastic. And we just melted it onto the thing, onto the card. So we're going to go around that and apply that ink. But what this will do is it will make this background card sort of a shade darker than the base card and give us a little bit more contrast. Okay, so what we could have done as well is used clear embossing powder, and what you'd have had was sort of like a two-tone look on the flowers. So you'd have had the lighter card showing through where the flowers are, where the white embossing powder is, and then go over it with the contrasting or matching ink, and it would have given us sort of that two-tone look. Okay, just put a little bit more on, just make that a little bit more intense, especially around the edges. That's where I want the contrast to happen against the magenta card base. So just putting a bit more on. Use a sponge, dauber, whatever. It's just something to apply ink with. Okay, if you don't have blending brushes. And then I'm just going to put just the merest amount of water on that. Barely anything on it at all. Grab another one just to hold on to it. And I'm going to wipe over the top of that embossing powder, just to remove that excess ink and bring back the white a little bit, okay? I don't want to be pink for the remainder of the week, so I'm just holding it onto it with these tissues, just to do that. So that is our background. So that's how much ink's come off that. So that's going to go straight in the bin there. Okay. So nice simple background, just some heat embossing. I think it looks better that way up for some reason. The flowers seem to be pointing up that way, don't they? Okay. So that is it for our background, which we can just get applied to the card with my ever trusty stamping seal. There it is. I'm going to put a few extra lines on it though, just because the paper's warped a little bit from the heat embossing, so just going to put some extra lines down just to secure that, making sure I've got that the way up I want it. So I think now that we're putting this down onto the base card, you can see the difference that the applying the ink makes. Okay, you could apply a border as well to help it pop, but I figured we'd just go with this for today. Something different. I say the idea was that it would go all the way to the end. I've lost my bone folder. There it is. All the way to the edges, but I say just missed the stamp there. Okay, and then we're just going to add a simple sentiment. So I've got some more Magenta Madness and a scrap of basic white. Where did I put the ink? I put it away. That was daft. Ink there, and our stamp, which I say this is from the Queen Anne's Lace stamp set, another retiring set. So I'm going to ink that up with the coordinating ink. Great, one of the best things about Stampin' Up products is the coordination that you get. Inks, cardstock, etc. all matching beautifully. Okay. Oh, that's a bit low on the cardstock, so I'm just about fits on. I should have stamped it a little higher up. Okay. So this punch, I just love this punch. It's worth getting. You can do little flag ends as well on your cardstock by using one of the corners there. So it's a really nice punch. It's good for masculine cards as well. It's just, you know, it's got that sort of angular shape, a bit more, well, it's less feminine, I think is the phrase, rather than masculine, because you can use it for girl cards, because I'm using it for a girl card now, unless you want to give this bright pink card to a boy. I mean, that's totally doable too. Okay, still got some scrap on that, so we'll hold on to that. So I've cut another one in the Magenta Madness, and we're going to just quickly snip that in half like so that we can use it to frame our sentiment. And I'm going to do that with wet glue, so I've got some time just to get that into the right place. So we're just going to put that across that top edge like that, and then pop that over there, so we end up with like this sort of faux border, if you like. Do the same on the bottom, and this technique works with various punches. I think it works best with ones that have got sort of a straight side to them, so you can line it up and it looks intentional. Okay. And then we can just pop that down. Onto our card with some dimensionals, because I love dimensionals. I'm going to do the extra one across the middle there, and I'm also going to add some multi-purpose glue over the top, because we're sticking it down onto this shiny surface, and anything dry adhesive like this, like a glue dot and dimensionals and things like that, they can peel off that sort of shiny surface. So if we use the wet glue over the top, we've still got the dimension of added with the dimensional, but we've got the strength of the multi-purpose adhesive as well. Okay, hope that made sense. So that's going to dry and end up just lovely rock solid on there. Now I feel like it needs a little bit of embellishment, so I'm just going to have a look in my stash of stuff. So I've got iridescent stuff and things, but I think they'll be lost on the card. Don't want to use black, I don't think. What I would, I know, we'll use these are retiring too. Elegant faceted gems. And there's some light white ones in here. So let's use those. Ooh, sorry, that's really crinkly, isn't it? Let's use those. Just to bring out that white theme. I've lost my pokey tool. Dear, not doing very well losing my stuff today, am I? So 2 sizes, so we can pop those down. And I might even do a couple more. Just to adjust that up a bit. There we go. Totally optional, but like I say, got it, use it. So that's my card for today. Emboss Resist, tone on tone, using one of the retiring in colours. Magenta Madness, Elegant Faceted Gems, Tailored Tag, Queen Anne's Lace, and the Wild Rose background stamp. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. It's given you some ideas on how to use stuff that might already be in your stash that's leaving, or maybe inspired you even to maybe think about purchasing those before they sell out. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to stop by the description down there, click on my blog post, and you'll see links to all the other ladies' projects too. Alright, thanks for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye everybody, bye.